Love reading time, and I just got the song Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon. I don't know. It's 12:44 on the clock. Think or say out loud, I allow this reading, and let's find out what's going on with your love life. Dear Spirit, benevolent beings of light, what is the... Ooh, one cards are already flipped over. Look. I'm not even making it up. I didn't even get the statement out. Okay, Spirit, may whoever is watching this video have these messages of love going on in their life be the truth they need to hear, and only the actual truth for what's going on with the viewer watching this. Think or say out loud, I allow this, so that consent is always necessary, okay? Also, we're talking about consent because the boundaries card came out. Oh, loud sound in my ear. And then you got overthinking. We'll talk about the next card because you got another card going on. Boundaries. Boundaries, my dear. Now, you need to teach people how to treat you by being clear on what you will and won't allow. And we want to dig into that a little more to talk about how your bare minimum must now be at your shoulders, not under your feet. You understand what we're saying by that. We know you do. Part of it is you keep doing things thinking people will show you and treat you amazing, even though you don't have the right boundaries in place. I need you to start really working on understanding that you are absolutely deserving and worthy on having boundaries. What does boundaries mean? Boundaries mean that you are in control of yourself, like saying, yes, I allow this reading. It's a boundary line where if you were like, no, I don't want this, you knew to scroll, right? Now that sounds like something superficial, but if you start realizing boundaries is all about understanding the knowledge you learned from all the previous interactions with people that didn't work out, and the precursors or the red flags that some part of you knew and didn't listen to back then, you now have all of that in your arsenal, so to speak, of knowledge, so that if someone comes up to you and they're acting grimy, you don't have to be like, well, maybe I should just... No, you're like, oh, grimy boy, bye, grimy girl, whatever. Same thing with boundaries with the overthinking card. When you're playing out every negative scenario that could be happening, you're manifesting a worse outcome. 222, as they said that. Now, we're not blaming you. We're trying to let you understand in the context of your boundaries, thinking about every possible so you could be prepared is never going to get you where you actually want to be. So if someone is starting to talk to you and you think they're cute or attractive or whatever, you got that little butterfly or little bing, whatever, I don't care. And they come up to you and the first thing they do is love bomb you and be like, oh my God, you're the most beautiful person in the world. I know I'm marrying you. When are we getting married? When are we living together? You can be like, oh, Toro, bull, go find another bull somewhere else. You're not going to be like, oh, well, I guess I should just, that's not who you are anymore. You know that. So as you're overthinking about, oh, well, that one did that to me back in the day, you'd never allow that. You'd never date that kind of person anymore, would you? No. You would never settle for like you used to. So this overthinking with lack of boundaries is really the biggest deal here for you to catch yourself. So as you're thinking scenarios that could go really wrong with no proof of it, catch yourself and go, wait, plot twist, and make up some beautiful freaking thing, like if you were telling the story to a child that needed a happy ending. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, there was a girl, or a boy, or they, or them, that stopped overthinking and started putting boundaries in place. Now, codependency, people-pleasing, enmeshing, abandonment wounds, neglect wounds, rejection wounds, mother-father wounds, they all are interconnected. So I want you to look into those topics. No matter who you are, the more you understand how any of that plays out, Google searches, Psychology Today, putting any of those topics in TikTok, you'll find mentors that talk about how to heal that, what it means, what it feels like, so that you can start seeing where you're settling or where you've been attracting the wrong kind of person for who you are. You start seeing what healthy actually should look like and starting to implement better patterns and thinking and attraction. Because when you are stuck in a place of being afraid somebody might reject you or neglect you or abandon you for any reason, you're much more likely to leave boundaries gone because, oh no, it'll be me. It's like saying, hey, you stopped by my house. I wasn't home. You didn't check with me to see if I was home. and you don't have a key to get in, and now you're furious with me and you're never going to talk to me again. I don't want you around anyway. You didn't call me. You didn't check. I certainly didn't give you a key, so why did you jump over my fence and try to open my door? No, right? That sounds bonkers. But metaphorically, if you think about that as how people interact with you on an emotional level, a spiritual level, even a physical level, you can see how you can be like, wait a minute, I already know these things are bad and I'm going to say no to that. If you're acting that way, I don't need to be around that. Boundaries are there for a very good reason. So if you got a problem with my boundaries, all you did was show me and God, spirit, whatever, who you actually are as a soul, and thank you for letting me see who you are now. Okay? Instead of, oh, it's my fault why they don't like me or they ghosted me or whatever. Now, you might not think you're doing that, but I want you to understand that on a subconscious level, there could be that narrative still playing a part with your inner child, where the overthinking and boundaries card to come out together is usually a real big indicator of someone that is in a anxious attachment style or an avoidant attachment style. So if dynamics you've had previously with people seem to be someone that's always leaving you or ghosting you or, you know, not talking to you or not giving you what you want, in one way, shape, or form, it might be one of those that's playing a part with that whole dynamic. The more you look into it, the more you can look into what earned, secure attachment style is, and you can move into that healed level through learning and how to change certain patterns, habits, behaviors, thoughts. Part of overcoming that is this overthinking. And I'm saying all of this because your soulmate is trying to come in, okay? And right now you're on very different paths. But it's because of this dynamic within you that needs to heal. And it doesn't mean that it's now not coming in. It just means every time you start thinking of a negative scenario, like, oh, I probably don't have anybody who loves me, whatever it is, catch yourself and be like, oh, wait, would I let anybody talk to my niece, my nephew, my daughter, my son, my mom? Find somebody that's so important to you that you get ravenous if they get disrespected, kind of thing. And then be like, would I ever allow them to talk or believe about themselves like that? If I heard that? No. Right? Then do that for your inner child. Think of it as the parent you need to be to that inner kid and go, wait, we don't need to do that. We could be awesome. We could have a great conversation. Now, I want you to also understand there is a huge difference, and I am acknowledging that, where you go, okay, he wants to go on a date. I've gone on a date before with him, her, with they, whatever. But they want to go on a nature walk. I've never been there before. That could be dangerous. Now you could say, I'm just going to do it and not think about it. Okay. Make sure you still take precautions. That's not overthinking. That's boundaries and being safe. I also would not say it's a good idea to go on a nature walk someplace you've never been, with somebody you don't really know. But do what you think is best. Also, self-defense is your friend. Please look up videos on how to do simple self-defense, because the more you feel secure with who you are and capable of saying no without being worried about what their action or reaction could be, the more you're like, yes, this is me. Because you're not going to be worried about somebody being like, what? Yeah, what? Okay. Takedown methods, self-defense, weapon removal. There's videos on all of it everywhere. All right. If you're a woman, you could put that in as part of the subject search so you could see ones that are just for women, but it doesn't really matter. I'm trained in all of it and I don't look like it, right? So do you think I worry about going on nature walks? I actually posted a video recently about a guy who actually tried to give me a problem on a nature walk. He regretted it. Anyway, the difference between being afraid and being with your boundaries is the inner strength and knowledge that you've built up. And part of it is learning to say no and having those self-defense mechanisms in place for yourself. Like if you're going on a date with somebody, you know to send the address to somebody you care about, being like, hey, this is where I'm going to be. This is the person. That's not overthinking. That's being logical. The overthinking is, we had a great day. He probably hates me. He probably doesn't want me. He smiled, but he probably doesn't like me. That's the weird stuff we don't need to do anymore. This true soulmate is your sacred connection. So kingdom spouse. This deck doesn't have twin flame or divine mate. So soulmate is just kingdom spouse, divine mate, whoever is your true destined partner. Think of it as you're standing on a stage in a theater. They're waiting in the wings for you to get to the part where they can come in. And that happens when you stand in your strength, in who you are, and do it from a healthy boundary level, and you get back on the same path together that way. Book a reading with me. Let's get into this. I love you.